Hello to everyone. My name is Urška Vore and I'm head of marketing at Weiler Abrasives EMEA. I would like to welcome you all on our Weiler Wednesday webinar in EMEA region. Today my colleague Wenceslav Jakob, who is our specialist for flap discs, will lead us through tips for selecting the best flap disc. The webinar will last around 30 minutes and it's being recorded, so we will publish the video on our webpage. And you are free to use it also in the future. You will be informed about the recording. Before we jump to the webinar, let me shortly explain some Zoom tips. In the bottom of the screen, you can find some icons. All participants have been muted. This is just to prevent any background noise. And we will use additional functions throughout the webinar. The first one is the chat function. We will use this on about halfway of the webinar, where we will give you an opportunity to win a present, and we will ask you questions, and the quickest to respond in the chat function will win a present. The next function is questions and answers. So you can submit the questions at any time throughout the webinar, but we will do them at the end. So you are welcome to stay. And the last function we will use are polls. So when you see a poll pop up on your screen, we encourage you to participate by entering your response to the poll. Next, I would like to invite you to visit us online. Our new webpage offers full information about our solutions, products, and about Weiler Abrasives company. So welcome to visit us at weilerabrasives.com, and also welcome to visit our social media on LinkedIn and YouTube channel to check our regular posts. I would also like to use this opportunity and invite you to our next webinar, which will be on 15th of July at the same time. So we have scheduled our webinars every Wednesday till 29th of July, so till the end. And you can check the schedule on our webpage. So the next webinar is on 15th of July, where we will have a discussion with Doris about troubleshooting, cutting and grinding solutions. Now I think we are ready to start, and I invite Wenceslav to take over the stage, please.
Thank you, Urška. For introduction, I would like to say that today we will talk about basic rules that affect disc selection. We'll talk about when to use flap discs, how to use flap discs, and we will also talk about Weiler's quality levels of flap discs. And we will end with the concluding remarks. Here we will talk about kinetic energy, grid size, flexibility, grinding parameters, and all these topics have a decisive influence on selection of flap discs and should not be neglected during the process. Kinetic energy is equal 1/2 multiplied by momentum of inertia multiplied by the square of angular velocity, seen in yellow. The energy of a rotating body varies with the square of the angular velocity. So it is very important to keep revolutions on the highest possible level during the grinding. And it is necessary to avoid reducing of angular velocity or revolutions too much. For instance, if revolutions fall from 12,000 revolutions per minute down to 10,000 revolutions per minute, we lose around 30% of energy. Not only 16%, which is actually the difference between the 12 and 10,000 revolutions. Grid size to be selected as coarse as possible and as fine as necessary, because coarser grid sizes grind faster and perform a longer to life. flexibility, to be selected as stiff as possible and as flexible as it is necessary. That means both cloth type and backing pads. Because stiffer discs also grind faster and perform a longer to life. So we have to select the backing pads as stiff as possible. Here we have to consider also this. Stiffer or harder discs are better on sharp edges, but softer discs are better on welds and on other irregular surfaces. And now I would like to say something about the picture on the right side. On this picture, we see an enlarged cross-section of image of the abrasive cloth. Below are visible polyester fibers, and above them resins with abrasive grains. White grains are grains of ceramic aluminum oxide. At the top, you can see the top coat in pink color. This coat chemically lowers the grinding temperature during grinding process. Such cloth is very useful when grinding all heat sensitive materials, such as stainless steels. Grinding parameters, cutting speed. How to choose the cutting speed. The higher the cutting speed is, the lower the roughness of the surface is, and the higher the temperature of workpiece is. Feed rate or angle grinder movement. The higher the feed rate is, the higher the roughness is, and the lower the temperature of workpiece surface is. So here is very important. If we want to avoid burnings, we have to move an angle grinder fast, and we have to make long movements, especially when we grind welds on thin stainless steel sheets. Contact pressure. The higher the contact pressure is, the higher the temperature of grinding zone is. The roughness stays almost on the same level. The higher the contact pressure is, the deeper grains penetrate into workpiece, and the more lower lying grains come into operation. The most common mistake which can happen during grinding is when we want to grind more aggressive, we apply more pressure. The result is overheated surface and destroyed flap discs. The right way is to change existing discs with coarser grains. Contact area. The larger the contact area is, the lower the roughness of the surface is, and the higher the temperature of workpiece surface is. So, the larger the contact area is, the longer is the contact between grains and workpiece surface. So the temperature, that's why, goes up. Nevertheless, have to choose the diameter of flap discs that allows a fairly large contact area. Too small contact area can result in insufficient efficiency. When to use flap discs? When surface roughness, high flexibility, constant high grinding performances, and low vibrations are important. Choose the right quality level of discs that suits your grinding requirements. Flap discs are normally used for grinding, finishing, weld seam preparation, beveling, and for edge working, for fillet welds, for rust, varnish, heat discoloration, and oxide film removal. Flap discs can be widely used, especially if we have an angle grinders with adjustable speeds. Flap discs are the best on steels, stainless steel, non-ferrous metals, aluminum alloys, wood, plastic, paint, varnish, fillers. So here I would like to ask you, which material do you grind most frequently? Steel, stainless steel, high alloys stainless steel, non-ferrous metals, aluminum alloys, wood, or plastic, or paint, varnish, or fillers. How to use flap discs? Flap discs are used with angle grinders, driven by electric, pneumatic, or battery, that means cordless. How to select the right diameter? The width of the contact surface must be optimal. That means a bit larger than the grinding surface is. The flap discs produced by us are in these diameters: 100, 115, 125, 150, 180, and also 230. Here we have to be careful that the contact width must be slightly larger than the required grinding width is, as I said. In this case, you can grind only in one line with width the longest possible movements. Here we have considered also that wider flaps on flap disc increases surface grinding area. Backing pad selection. Phenolic backing pads are most widely used because of their lightweight and good absorption of vibrations during grinding process. Composite or plastic backing pads gives better support, and they are trimmable, but they are heavier than glass fiber pads. And aluminum backing pads are very rigid. They are often used when the speed of the grinding is important. Grains. The discs are produced with different grains. Ceramic alumina grains is high performing grains with self-sharpening effect. The best results can be achieved with a combination of high power angle grinders. The power of angle grinder should not be under 1,400 watts. We are producing flap discs also with silicon carbide grains. These discs can be used for marble, plastic, glass, and for other soft materials. Zirconium alumina grains gives good stock removal. This is also self-sharpening grain, and in combination with top coat allows cool grinding. Aluminum oxide grain on the bottom is durable grain, good for wood, metals, and non-ferrous materials. That is for softer materials. Here on this point, I would like to ask you another question. Which type of abrasive grain do you use most commonly? Ceramic alumina, zirconium alumina, aluminum oxide, or silicon carbide? Grid size selection is an important part of choosing discs. For heavy stock removal, we use coarser discs, 36-40. For edge beveling chamfering, we use slight finer discs, up to 60. For well grinding, blending, we can use grit sizes from 40 to 60, up to 80. And also for deburring and deflashing. Rust removal, blending, cleaning, and finishing operations can be done with finer grit sizes from 60 to 120. And do not forget, grit sizes should be selected as coarse as possible and as fine as it is necessary. The shape and the density of flap discs can be different. Normal density of flap discs are produced in 3 shapes: conical, type 29, to maximize surface contact and for high stock removal on flat surfaces. Then in flat, type 27 shape for smooth grinding, blending, and finishing on flat surfaces and on slight contours. The third shape is angled, type 27 hybrid for T-joints and hard to reach areas with angle grinders down to 43 degrees. High density flap discs are also produced in 2 types, type 27 and gives up to 40% longer life than normal discs. The high density discs are best choice for grinding, blending, uneven or irregular surfaces. After a short pause, we will continue. Urška, please take over.
Okay, thank you, Wenceslav. It's time to make a very short pause and the possibility to win a present. So if you remember the first attendee that will submit the right answer in the chat function, please use the chat function. Will receive a Weiler safety package. So it's a package that contains the general safety equipment. And the question is, so which flap discs enable grinding with high angles up to 35 degrees? Please put your answers in chat function and we will announce a winner at the end of the webinar. So we are going back to Wenceslav. Please continue.
Thank you, Urška. Now I would like to say something about quality levels of flap disc produced in Weiler Abrasive EMEA group. Our highest quality level is max performance line. For maximizing productivity with a superior combination of life and cut rate, ceramic and zirconium alumina grain options provide cool, fast cutting actions, allowing you to do more work more quickly. Discs are contaminant free. They work best on steel, stainless steel, tool steel, Inconel, high nickel alloys, titanium, and armored steel. These discs are also available with top coat for cool grinding. The most common combination is top coat and ceramic aluminum oxide grains. In this case, the temperature of grinded surface is less than 200 degrees centigrade. Without a top coat, the temperature of the grinding surface can rise up to 240 degrees centigrade if we grind metal surfaces with brown aluminum oxide grains. Pro performance line, lower line, Metalinx Pro flap discs are designed to deliver performance, consistency, reliability, and quality when grinding and finishing metals. Discs are contaminant free. They are based on carbon steel, structural steel, stainless steel, iron, and general purpose metal use. When we grind with, let's say, normal pressures and normal angle and normal angles, that means around 25 degrees. We can offer you for improving quality, surface quality, we can offer you special versions of discs. For fine grinding, pre-polishing metal surfaces, we can offer you Polirco flap discs made of non-woven flaps in 3 grit sizes: coarse, medium, and very fine, with aluminum oxide grains. For deburring, removing scratches from surfaces, for fine grinding, and for polishing metal surfaces, we can offer you soft polish discs made of hard non-woven material in combination with silicon carbide grains. Super finish flap discs are the best for improving metal surface quality. In case if the metal surface must be good, prepared for metal plating or for polishing till the like mirror surface roughness is achieved. Grains are made of special aluminum oxide suitable also for stainless steel grinding. And for final operation for polishing with pastes till mirror finish is achieved, we can offer you polishing discs made of high quality felt with density of 0.6 grams per cubic centimeter. We can offer you also 3 types of polishing pastes for pre-polishing, polishing, and high gloss finishing. For cleaning, rust removal, paint removal, removal of fillers and varnishes are the best stripping discs. What is important here to know, these discs remove only coatings, not base materials. So they can be used on thin metal sheets. For instance, we can remove rust, paint, and fillers from car bodies. However, there is no risk of grinding through the base material. Hybrid dual flaps discs are made of double flaps and with double grit sizes. Here we have 2 combinations of grit sizes, and they are very interesting for use. The combination of flap discs 40 and 60 grit results in an extension of lifetime of discs with normal grit size 40. And on the other hand, the combination of grit size 60 with grit size 40 allows grinding with higher pressure than it's normal for grit size 60, with no burnings. Grinding surface roughness is close to grit size 60, but the speed of the grinding is close to grit size 40. Extreme flap discs can be used when high speed and high stock removal rate is required. Low angles of flaps and longer length of flaps allows us to grind aggressively. The angle between flaps and backing pad is as low as possible, and the speed is as high as possible. We can offer you also special discs, X-Log discs. This new version of flap discs is meant for quick changeover. During changeovers, we do not need no mother screws and other tools for mounting, so the changeover can be made very quickly. This version of flap discs can be mounted also on normal angle grinders as well. For conclusion, flap discs grind and finish in one step. The job is done fast. They give good surface finish, grinding, and they grind with low vibrations. Due to their lower weight, they consume less energy and they are more environmental friendly. Our wish is not only to sell you our products, our discs, but also to optimize your processes with them and increase your productivity. This is all from my side. Thank you. Urška, please take over. Goodbye.
Thank you, Vyacheslav. So before we jump to questions and answers, I would like to announce the winner of the giveaway play. And the winner is Mr. Rino Šarović. We will get in contact with you regarding the shipment. I congratulate you. Also, thank you very much for the rest who participated. Now let's see if we have any questions. We've received few. We will not be able to answer all, and we'll follow up with you via email. So the first question is so Vyacheslav, in which diameters do you produce flap discs?
Yes, flap disc can be produced in different diameters to match the required jobs. So the diameters are 100 millimeters, 115, 125, 150, 180. And also we can offer you discs with the diameter 230. We are the only producer here in Europe in such big diameter. But most common, the discs are used in diameters 115 and 125. But for high demanded jobs and for grinding larger areas, bigger diameters are more suitable. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. The second question, for ceramic flap discs, what are the requirements for angle grinders?
Yes, with ceramic flap discs, we must be sure that we have enough power, that during the grinding process, the revolutions would not fall down. If we hear the revolutions falling down, then something is not right. That's why we need angle grinders with powers 1,400 watts and more. Because if we do not have enough powers, the cloth in this flap disc would not wear out properly. And the temperature of grinded surface will go up. And when the temperature will go up, then the burnings start, and the grinding is finished.
Okay, thank you. And we will finish with the last question. So which flap discs do you sell the most?
We sell the most flap discs in smaller diameters, 115, 125, with zirconium alumina grain. Why? Because we would surely like to sell more discs with ceramic grain, but the end users and operators should be prepared for that. Because the big difference between zirconium alumina flap discs and ceramic flap discs is in that when you grind with zirconium alumina flap discs, you have to push a lot to achieve self-sharpening effect of grains. But with ceramic flap discs, you should not apply too much pressure. And that is during the grinding quite tough job to achieve. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. With Vyacheslav, we will finish here. So the questions that have not been answered, you can expect an answer to your email. We have your data. So we have reached to the end. Thank you again all for joining us. I hope you will be able to join us also next week on 15th of July, when we will talk about troubleshooting to cutting and grinding solutions with Doris. I wish you all a good day, and goodbye.
Goodbye.